What's up, everybody? Today we back again with another video. Today I'm gonna be telling y'all about what they don't tell you about seminars, webinars, and classes. You're starting to see a lot of them simply because a lot of more people are getting into the content type deal and starting to post more. So I'm posting this video to basically letting you know what to watch out for, and basically the reason for this whole channel is so you can not make the same mistakes I made, and that way you can go ahead and get strictly into progression, and you can basically weed out the fakes or whatnot. Right now I'm on my way to the bank, so I'm not finna record and drive, of course, so let me stop real quick. Okay, so I'm at the bank and we parked, that way I can get through this video. So the thing with seminars, webinars, and classes is that a lot of people are not understanding is, and this is not all of them, but this is most of them, they're introducing it as a way to make themselves feel like, make it look like they're helping you, when in actuality, what a lot of people don't know is that they're just using it strictly just for income in their pocket type deal. Even the free ones, especially most of them, the free ones, most of the time. So what a lot of people don't realize is that they're using it strictly just as another source of income. A lot of them are not even really doing the service that they're trying to teach you about. They're just really just trying to make money just by providing the seminar, webinar, or the class or whatever. So you'll have most people, they're not even doing what they say they're doing. They're just making money by pushing out the class, by pushing out the webinar, by pushing out the seminar. They're getting paid by that and only that, not even the service that they're claiming that they're doing. So one thing you won't know is that that's what they're doing. They're using it as a source of income. And again, this is not all the people that's doing it. This is most, though, for sure, for sure. Another thing that they're doing, they're using their brand as an advantage. So let's say you got 3 guys trying to make money off webinars or seminars, trying to make money off teaching in general. However, one of those guys have a brand to where he has a good following or whatever. He has a good fan base. They're going to make that person the face of that webinar, the face of that seminar. So they're going to try to use that person's brand, or it could be one person. He'll try to use his brand as an advantage to try to reel people in, even though his brand may not be with, let's say, investing. However, he'll do an investing seminar and he know people will show up just because of how good his brand is. So they'll try to use their brand as a way to reel people in type deal. And some of these things that they're doing is not bad. It's only bad whenever you're not helping people. It's only bad whenever you're lying. It's only bad whenever you're not doing whatever you saying you're doing. You know, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, that's when it becomes a bad thing. This sun is blazing. Sorry about that. I had to get away from that sun. Oh, golly, that joker was killing over there. So I moved to a different spot in the parking lot. These people gonna think I'm crazy. But anyway, it's only bad. Some of these things that they're doing is only bad whenever you're using it to manipulate people and you're not using it to help. Although you're lying, you're trying to make it seem like you're helping, but in actuality you're not. That's when it becomes bad type deal. Ain't nothing wrong with using your fan base as an advantage, but it is something wrong to manipulate your fan base just because you know you got one. That's when it becomes wrong. So they'll use their brand as an advantage just so people could attend they seminar and webinar. And whenever you get into them, this is when you because at first they promoting it, they're trying to reach out to different people. You see it all on your timeline. However, whenever you join these free webinars or these paid webinars, what you will find is whenever you're starting it, either a webinar, whenever you're finally in it, the first thing they'll do is introduce themselves. Keep in mind, if this person has a fan base, you done probably seen this person over and over. You probably already follow this person. You probably already done watch this person content. You already probably know who this person is. With that being said, if you already know what this person is, ain't no reason, and most of everybody in that seminar or in that webinar already know who this person is, because you're not finna join somebody's webinar you don't know who they are. You're not finna just up and join somebody's random seminar or random webinar, especially the paid ones. You're not finna go pay to just randomly go see somebody. With that being said, if everybody in that particular room know the person who's hosting it, there's no reason for that person to introduce themselves. There's no reason for that person to say their name. There's no reason for that person to talk about what they do, because everybody in that room most likely already know the person hosting it. Or you can literally just be like, who know who I am and who know who I'm not? You can literally start off by asking that question, and whoever if there's a big amount of people who don't, then you introduce themselves. But usually they just start off by just strictly introducing themselves. Which, when I was in those rooms, I was like, why are you introducing yourself? We all know who you are, type deal. But they'll introduce themselves, they'll talk about themselves, they'll probably bring up some type of family, how long they've been doing it, stuff like that, blase, blase, blase. Then, and sometimes they do it in the process of introducing themselves. They either do it in the process of introducing themselves or they do it around the middle. But what they try to do is also they try to hit you emotionally. If you ever notice, if you ever been a part of one, or if you're about to join one, watch out for this. What they try to do, they try to hit you emotionally. They do this by either doing two things. They either show you, let's say I'm doing a seminar webinar about cryptocurrency. What they'll try to do is they'll try to show you how cryptocurrency can make you so much money and how that money can make you financial freedom. And keep in mind, you're not thinking this when you're in it, but keep in mind, if you're doing or you're trying to learn cryptocurrency, you already know that it can make you a bunch of money. So this is another thing of useless information that you don't even need to know, that you already know in the webinar or seminar. You already know it can make you a bunch of money. You already know that you can buy some crazy boat. That if you knew how to do it. You already know that if you make a bunch of money doing it, that you'll become financially free. So there's no reason for them to be showing you pictures and be telling you stories about the money that they use or the money that they say they used from whatever service they're teaching you about. So they try to tell you about how much money you can make. They try to tell you about what you'll be able to afford. Basically, what the money they got from doing that service, what it did for them, type deal. They'll show you pictures or they'll tell you stories about how good the service is or how good whatever they're talking about, crypto, stock, real estate, however good crypto is for them, type deal, or how it can benefit you, type. So they'll try to hit you emotionally that way so you can get excited about it. Or they'll try to hit you, and sometimes this could be true. Same thing with the good part. Sometimes this could be true, sometimes it could be bad. Most of the time, sad to say, some people are not telling the truth in this department. What they'll try to do is hit you with a sad story, a rags to riches story. Oh, I was homeless. I was sleeping on the side of the street. Or me and my mom and my dad, we came up with no money. We didn't have any money inside our pocket. And they'll try to, some of them they'll try to sneak a tear in, or they'll act like, and keep in mind, some are true. Some are true, and some are true to where you can, like, they can't even hold back tears because it's so true. However, you will know who's real and who's not once I talk to you more about the other tactics that they use. But what they try to do is they try to tell a sad story. We came up with nothing. We didn't have a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out of. We were so poor. We used to do this. We used to wear old clothes or something. And then what they'll try to do is they'll try to get I don't know, they'll start to act like they're about to cry, or they're getting teared up, but they're not a tear fallout, or they're acting like they're sad, but then boom, they'll get right into the next thing type deal during the webinar. So it's like, at first you were sad, but then now you're excited to be like, all right, who wants to learn cryptocurrency? Or who's ready to learn real estate? It's like, hold on, wasn't you just upset? Like, you're not even gonna wipe? Or like, how did you so sad and not even a tear fall? So they'll try to hit you emotionally by showing you how good the money is, showing you pictures of money or stuff like that, telling you stories. Or they'll tell a sad story to try to get you into buying to them emotionally, or try to, because they know a lot of people who are trying to learn this stuff. Of course, if you're trying to learn how to make money, of course you barely have some, or a lot of people can relate to the rags to riches story, so they pull out that rags to riches story to make themselves more relatable. So they try to hit you emotionally with the either the money or the being broke type of stories. The next thing they do is, and this is my favorite, and this is how I caught on. So me personally, I'm very big on answering my question. I don't want to hear nothing else but sometimes this could be bad and good. However, I'm very big on answering my question. Now, if you answer my question and give me a little bit more information, cool, because you answer my question. However, once you don't answer my question, I look at you a little sideways, especially when I know you're not even trying to answer my question. So you can ask, you can ask, what's an example that I can think of? So, bet we was at this. This just an example. I took me and my barbers. Me and the barbers at the shop. We went to a class, and they had a speaker up there. I'm not saying this whole thing was a sham. I'm not saying that. However, this is something. It's an example of you asking somebody who has a platform a question and they not answering it. I said, because one of my barbers, he's young, and I wanted him to know, like, hey, boss, like, in order to reach that certain amount that you're trying to reach to, in order to reach that status you're trying to get to, you're going to go through some things. I wanted to know that. I wanted him to know that, and I've told him that from my mouth. However, I wanted him to see it from a different point of view, simply because you could tell somebody something, and however, the next person tell them something, and they can relate to that more. So I asked the person, long story short, I asked the person on stage, I say, hey, tell us about those times where you tell us about those sacrifices you made. Tell us about those times where you had to give up something, or tell us about those times where you didn't think it was going to work, right? I'm thinking he going to answer my questions. Tell me about a bad time to where he almost thought about giving up, or tell me about a time where he had to stop, or tell me about a time where he had to stop hanging out with certain people and he had to sacrifice that time and focus more on his business. I'm thinking he finna answer my question. That man looked at me dead in my face and said, man, if you just believe in God. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nothing against God. I'm not saying that. However, that man said, if you just believe in God, man, and you keep going, you gonna make it. And me personally, whenever it didn't happen so much in business and in barbering, so it didn't happen so much to where people didn't answer my questions, to where I peep it. However, I looked in that room and people was clapping. People didn't even notice. This man didn't even answer my question. That man didn't answer my question. Or you could be like, what's another example? So you could be in a stock seminar or stock webinar, and on the graphs, a stock chart, they have candlesticks. You can ask the person on stage or whoever hosting that webinar. You can ask, hey, what does the candlesticks mean? Instead of answering your question, he'll hit you with this. Oh, we'll get to that later. I'll let you know that later. Let's talk about this first. that didn't answer your question. And then if you notice, if you wait a little bit longer, he won't even answer that question. So that's another thing they do. They don't answer the question you give them, or they give you some generic answer. And they only give you a little bit of information just to make it seem like you learned a little bit. And for those who've probably already done research or already watched a YouTube video, let's say you're trying to learn real estate and you done watch like 50 YouTube videos on real estate, and you like, you know what, I'm gonna make that investments towards this seminar. Most of the time, when you go to that seminar, they only gonna give you the same information that you just saw on YouTube. Most of the time, them people only gonna give you just enough information to where if you would have studied this on your own for like 3 days, you probably would have learned the same thing. So they not finna go from A to Z to how they promoting it, because they gonna promote it like they gonna give you the whole detail. Like they finna give it to you all. Like they finna let you know, like as soon as you done with that webinar and seminar, you won't even have to learn anything else. You'll just be ready to go. When in actuality, as soon as you get into that room, as soon as you get on that site, as soon as you tune into that class, whenever you get done, you still gonna have questions. You're not gonna be ready to start doing it. And when you do get into it, you're gonna be like, dang, why this person didn't say it? That goes back to my point. Sometimes they're only doing it to make money out of it. They're only doing it to make $1. Sometimes they're not even doing what they say they doing. They just teaching people how to do it just so they can make money. They're not even doing it. So that's another thing they do. They don't answer your question. So far they try, how did I start it off? They look at it like a source of income. They use their brand as an advantage. They introduce themselves a lot whenever they don't need to. They try to hit you emotionally, and they try to give you bits or pieces of information. They don't answer your question. They try to give you bits or pieces of information to where if you didn't study, you probably think you learned something. When actuality is a lot more stuff to learn. They give you a little piece of information. They give you broad information that if you would have just studied on YouTube, watched 2-3 videos, you would have already knew this. They do that type of stuff. So these are just the things that, like, in order to find this out, you have to go to several one of them, which means you got to waste your time going to free webinars, paying money for classes, paying money for seminars, paying money for webinars. Now, keep in mind, like, I'm going to keep saying this because I done went to some. Matter of fact, all the barber classes I went to was well worth it. All the barber classes. My first class out here, as soon as I went to, when I was almost out of barber school, I think I was out of barber school, my first barber class, I paid some good money for it. However, it came with a good return. I made my money back in less than 2 months. So my barber classes was worth it. I know some. No, not gonna lie to you. Yep. Never mind. Scratch that. Yep. All my barber classes was worth it. I didn't know about these scams and these manipulation tactics until I started going to business seminars, until I started going to investing webinars, until I started signing up for trying to join certain people classes online. Whenever it came to business and money and investing, all my barber classes was worth it. I had one class. He had a barber class with a money class type deal, but the money was tied to the barbering business. He had a class like that. That was worth it. I learned more from that class than I did from a class that was supposed to be solely on investing. So that's why I say most seminars, webinars, and classes are like that. Every class ain't gonna be like that. You may find a diamond in the rough to where, dang, I didn't think he was gonna teach me something. He ended up teaching me something. So that's why I'm saying, that's why I'm giving you all these tactics. That's why I'm telling you all these characteristics. That way, if you see it, you know it's a lie. Because like I said, If a person, if he start the class or if she start the class, he'd be like, who know me? If everybody else know her, there's no reason to introduce yourself. If I know you probably been studying real estate, or if I know you've been trying to look into cryptocurrency, it's no reason for me to tell you how good the money is. There's no reason for me to tell you what you can do with the money. You already know what you can do with the money. If I'm really genuine and I'm trying to help you, guess what I'm going to do? Any question you got, I'm going to answer it. And if I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you I don't know the answer. I cut hair. If I ain't never cut a person with curls, I can't tell you how to fade their hair because I ain't never cut a person with curls. If somebody walk into the shop right now and be like, hey, Gillis, I'm trying to start my locks. Is my afro the good length? I got something in my eye, but I'm gonna keep going. Is my hair long enough to start my locks? I'm gonna look at you and I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be like, boss, I don't know because I ain't never did locks. I just wear them. I just have them. I say I just wear them like this is fake or something. I just have them. I ain't never did it. So, but that's coming from something genuine. If I'm having a class on real estate and it's supposed to be on real estate, if you ask me a question dealing with commercial real estate, and let's say I only know residential, I'm going to tell you, hey, I don't know that because I ain't never did that. However, let's say if it's a stock thing and you tell me, hey, have you ever traded with anything other than ETFs? I'm like, hey, I only dealt with ETFs. I'm in the introduction part of it. I don't know that part of it because I haven't dealt with that part. You know what? So if you a genuine person gonna let you know what they know and what they don't know. Somebody who's trying to manipulate you, they gonna act like they know everything. They gonna act like they did it all. They not gonna answer your question. Whenever you ask a question, they gonna hit you either with a broad answer, not a specific answer, a broad answer to where it looks like they did, or they gonna say, I'm gonna get to it later, which they never do, or they not gonna answer it, but they gonna give you a reply, and they gonna give you a reaction like they did when actuality they reply ain't got nothing to do with your question. So these are the things that they gonna try to pull on you to where it's like, man, you can, whenever you go and you peep this stuff out, you can walk out the room. You could be like, hey, is there any way you can go to the back of that room? Is that, or you can hit them in their inbox or hit them, hey, is there any way I'm finna log off? Is there any way I can get my money back? Because this is, you ain't gotta say, you ain't gotta badmouth nobody. You ain't gonna be like, hey, you're lying, this is a scam. You ain't gotta do all that. You just gotta walk out, find you something, find you the next one that's gonna benefit you. And whenever you find that right one, you could be like, hey, ask them questions, you're going to get an answer. Now, you can't get mad if they don't know. If they don't know, and you better be glad that they was happy enough to tell you they don't know. That's why I had a guy, he was supposed to be fixing up one of my houses. I called him. I said, hey, I got referred to you by such and such. Is there any possible way I have a property? Is there any possible way I can get you to take a look at it? I got some things that need to get done on it. He said, I can't get you right now. I got 2 jobs right now, and I'm trying to finish this up. I kept that man number. Why? Because I know when you get on mine, you're going to tell the next person if you got time for theirs or not. Because you're not finna try to put too much on you that you can't bear. So if you are part of a seminar, webinar class, and you ask a question, they say they don't know, you got to respect that person enough to be like, okay, I'm glad you said you don't know. And if you, because if you did know, you would tell me. And if you ask the question that they do know, and if you get the truth, you got to respect the truth. Even if the truth is not what you want to hear, you got to respect the truth, because that person was genuine enough to tell you the truth and not manipulate you. So these are some of the things to watch out for, that not answering a question, that introducing themselves, that emotional stuff. Another thing they do, this is the free ones. This is why I love them free ones. Most 80%, 90% of them jokers are scams. 90% of them jokers is scams. I'm not bad mouthing on nobody specifically, but 85% of them jokers is shams. This is why, and I love them. Why? Because I can point them out from here to Egypt. I can just look at it and be like, yep, never again, because I done been through so many. You could try to act like you winning to somebody who losing, but you can't act like you winning to somebody who already helped. You can't act like you winning to somebody who already winning. If you got a person in real estate, you can act, if you got a person, let's say I'm a person, I'm not in real estate. I can act like I'm in real estate to people who not in real estate. I can't act like I'm in real estate to people who are in real estate, because they gonna smell it from a mile away. Okay, this person don't know what he's talking about. And by me going to so many seminars, webinars, and classes, I can tell, like, all right, yeah, never mind, that ain't the one. So for these free webinars, seminars, and classes, what they do is they say it's free, but then they start talking about these programs in the middle of it. Ooh, these programs, and ooh, how they can help you. Man, these programs, ooh, something about these programs. I'm telling you, they're going to talk about these programs, these tactics they got, these way of doing things. And then they gonna say it. They gonna say the class is free. However, in the middle of the class, they hollering about these programs, what they got to offer, these 2-day boot camps. And guess what they finna say? This could be yours. They gonna sound like an infomercial from back in the day. This could be yours for $130, or the ones the ones that's really trying to get you. We'll talk about it at the end of the class, how you can get these things or how you can get these tactics. But if it's free, you can give it to me now. Why we gotta wait till the end of class? Or why I gotta go talk to Mr. Take All My Money in the back? Well, I gotta go talk to him in the back of the class whenever the seminar over. Why I gotta go back there? If it's free, we can talk about it now. But it ain't free. That class is free to get you in there so they can talk to you about them programs, so they can sell you on it. So that's another tactic. They say it's free. Then whenever you get up in it, they try to sell you them programs. And like I said, this is one of those things, like, it wouldn't be bad if you was telling that in the promotion. It wouldn't be bad if you was marketing in that way. Like, hey, this class is going to show you this. However, during this class, we will let you know about these other programs at the end of it. It wouldn't be bad if you was trying to sell people at the end of it. These people are trying to sell you that in the beginning of it and in the middle of it. It wouldn't be bad if you had it up for sale and be like, hey, if you want any more information, let us know at the free seminar, let us know at the free class. Only if you want to know about it, then let us know there. Then we talk about it. But that's the sole reason why they had that free seminar, free webinar, is to talk about them programs so you can buy into them. They look at that stuff like it's a money. And it's sad because you have these people who really trying to learn, man, and they'll reel them people in and promote it to them so good to where them people will invest in it and they'll take them people money. And then that's another thing. If you think about it, and see, if you really sit back and think about it, some of this stuff don't even make sense. Like, and you can catch on it that way. Why are you spending the whole time selling me a program when you're supposed to be teaching me something? You could be teaching me something right now. So, you know what I mean? So some of this stuff you can catch on. You just got to think. You just got to step away from it and think, why is that person doing that? Type deal. So some of this stuff you can catch on real quick. So that's all the tactics that you can watch out for. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to keep saying this. Not all seminars, webinars, and classes are like this. However, most are. And not some of these things are bad. It becomes bad. Like, being emotional, ain't nothing wrong with that. Sharing your story, ain't nothing wrong with that. Getting money from it, ain't nothing wrong with that. Selling one of your programs, ain't nothing wrong with that. It is something wrong when doing that, whenever you're taking people's money, not answering their questions, manipulating them, telling people you're going to do something and you're not doing it. That's when it becomes wrong. That's when it becomes a scheme, a scam, whatever. Whenever you're not doing what you're supposed to do and not doing right by people, and you are getting over on people, taking their money and not doing what you say you're going to do, that's when it becomes wrong. That's when it's wrong. If you do what you're supposed to do, if you do what you say you're gonna do, if you answer them people questions, do right by people, and you doing all that other stuff, people are buying to you, and it won't be nothing wrong. You cannot say anything bad. You could be like, hey, I made money from it. However, I helped you learn some stuff in crypto to you can go and you can make some money on your own. You can be like, hey, I may have took money. However, guess what? I gave you enough information to where you go make your money back plus more. Ain't nothing wrong with doing that. Ain't nothing wrong with making money from doing these things. Ain't nothing wrong with getting emotional. However, whenever you use it as a tactic in order to get over on people, that's when it becomes wrong. So that's some of the things that's most of the things they don't tell you about seminars, webinars, and classes. If you like this video, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'm gonna see y'all on the next one.